Hey folks, welcome back to another video, and today we are gonna dive deep into some harmony theory. And please stick with me. I try to make it as easy as possible, and probably some piano players in the comments are already going, yeah, let's just learn the piano, dude. But we do sometimes do stuff on this channel for fun, and sometimes you learn also something about it, and sometimes you can also make some people connect some dots here and there, so it's usually pretty fun. So when you watch YouTube tutorials about harmony theory, they usually stick to the diatonic framework. So they go something like, oh, let's build a scale first, right? You can build a scale pretty easily on the piano roll here. Let's build actually the C major scale. So it's all the white keys, right? You start on C, then you have D here, E, F, G, A, B, and C again, or just remove C here. So that's the C major scale. Pretty easy, pretty simple, all the white notes on the keyboard. Yeah, that's how it is. And then they tell you you can actually build chords from this. So you take all these notes and you can build diatonic chords, right? The first chord is, of course, here C. Then skip a note here, then use this, skip a note, and you have a C major. And then you build all the other diatonic chords from this scale, right? So this is D minor, then we have E minor, then we have F major, then we have G major. Let's actually extend this here. Then we have B minor, and then we have here a diminished. So these are all the chords. You heard this probably 1,000 times. Oh, that's not what I want. You probably heard this already 1,000 times because it's diatonic and it's kind of boring. So they invented something to stick to this framework of diatonicness and invented something like modal interchange, right? So they say, oh, let's take actually here the fifth, and it's a major chord, so why not exchange it for a minor chord to make it more interesting? It still works, but this note is actually not in the scale of C major, right? So it borrows basically a note or a chord from a different scale. And this is fine and completely okay to do it. But what I want to tell you is, why not actually see the bigger picture and remove some curtains from that, because you limit yourself basically to something. And also you have like in Ableton Live or Cubase, you have like these scale highlighters that just highlight a scale for you, and then you stick to the scale. And you kind of limit yourself in a way with this. So here is an idea to actually look at this on the circle of fifth. So I have a preset here I made a few years ago. It looks like this. Maybe unattach it here. Actually close this. So here we have all the chords and of course the scale. So let's look at this here on the circle of fifth. So I made the circle of fifth in the grid. You can see I'm starting here at C, and then it goes around the circle back to C. And each of these steps is a fifth away, or 7 semitones up, right? From C, 7 semitones up is G, 7 semitones up it's D, A, and so on, right? It's circle of fifth. That's how it works. And then we have outside here. Normally it's inside, but on my, it's a different circle. It's outside. We have the minor chords, right? So instead of C, we go here to A minor. And the reason for that is A minor shares the same notes with C major. It's just 3 semitones lower from the root key, and it shares the same notes, all the white keys, but it's just starting on a different note, so you have different intervals between all the chords. That's the reason behind it. So maybe I disable also your 7th and add 9. So this is now a major chord. You can see C major here with some bass notes added, of course, but it's just here 1, 2, 3, right? A major triad. So this is this. Right? So we can say this here is the 1 chord of C major. A big Roman number because it's a major chord. Then the second one is D. This is D minor. So this is the second one. small numbers or small chars for minor key or minor chord. Then we have E, also small, 3. Then we have F, which is major. This is the first big chord here. It's the 4th, actually. It's an 7 semitones down, right? C, it's the root or the tonic, 7 semitones down. And then the next one here is 7 semitones up. It's also important. The 5th. And you probably already heard this also a 1,000 times, right? It's pretty common. And they are very harmonic together. So harmonic, it's super boring, actually. Then from the 5th, we go up to A, which is here. It's also minor, so a 6. Then we have the B here, which is the diminished. And then we have this, use this small little circle here also. Where's the B here? I can't do it on this keyboard here, what I have. Okay, so this is the diminished chord. And you can see we have all these chords we are using in our scale, in the C major scale, pretty close together. And you can see that some of these chords here also around it, but they are not part of the scale of C major. They have or they use notes outside of the scale. But you can still use them because they are on the circle of 5th. So in fact, you can circle around the circle of 5th pretty easily from one chord to the other, and it sounds fine, but you miss the tonal center. But if you just use some chords here outside of this diatonic scale, you are still fine. So you can do something like this. Right? So the D major here is not kind of part of the C major scale, because you can see here we are using F sharp at some point for one chord note. So it's not in the scale, but all the rest is, and it just makes sense here, right? And what I want to tell you is, see maybe the bigger picture, that you are limiting yourself with this diatonic stuff here way too hard. And it's so much easier to see this or to watch this on the circle of 5th, because you have more solutions here, right? So you can go here, you can go here, you can go here, instead of just sticking to these 5 chords. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 is diatonic, of course, 7 chords, right? So can much more about it. The problem here with this preset is that I share you in the description below. Of course, I made this a few years ago, is that you can't play it on the keyboard. You have to use these buttons here. But my main idea with this preset was to show you a visual circle that you can use with your mouse. You can still record it, of course, to the note clip if you want to. And we can do this maybe here. So let's create here an instrument track. And instead of my MIDI keyboard, I'm using here the polymer channel and the circle of 5th output. Then just record this stuff here. Or maybe don't start with A minor. We start with C major here. Why is there no pre-roll? Sometimes there's no pre-roll in Bitwig, and I have no idea why. Oh. Now it works. Let me go back here after 5, maybe here. So you can play this and record this into the piano roll and then use this chord progressions. And sometimes it's so fun to just play, push these buttons and come up with something that sounds good. And then you have a lot of different notes here already in the piano roll that you can use for chord progression. It actually sounds, it looks like very pleasing going down here. So yeah, that's a way of doing this. Maybe I do another one here, another run. Maybe open this up. Maybe make it a bit faster here. Not 20. And then go back. So let's put here a piano, maybe. Piano tag. On that. Easy peasy chord progression just with this tool. Maybe a bit of different these settings here. So the problem now here is when you have this chord progression and you want to play something on top, you have to use the notes from these scales. So this is a scale, this is a scale, right? This is a scale. So all different scales. And you don't know which notes you can use on top. You can use notes you already use here, right? So you can use this to make maybe an arpeggio on top or play a melody on top. But maybe you have not enough notes. You want to have more. You want to use the complete scale. So my idea for this was, instead of using the circle of fifth preset here, which is still good in my opinion, we can disable this and use another preset that I want to share with you. It's called circle of fifth keys. It looks like this. So instead of having here a circle, we have kind of a list. So we start also here at C. So you can see here at the top, we have C here. And then we go to G. It's the next one. Then go to D here. So it's just the same circle. It's just in a kind of list way. The problem with the list is that we want sometimes to go from C here to F, right? Because it's also just a fifth apart. But C to F is actually going to the last position here, F, right? So it's kind of a circle, but cut in half and then split up into a list. So that's a bit of a problem, but if you know how it works, you can easily then use it. So with this, we don't need to actually use here the circle of fifth preset anymore. What we can do now is we can play just in one scale, in maybe a scale we already know or familiar with. So let's say C, so we can play here a chord. Maybe something like this. Maybe this chord, maybe a bass note, maybe two bass notes. And then we make some kind of groove to it. Yeah, something like this. It's okay. So we put a groove to it. We put some convolution on there. And we can switch to a different scale here. That's maybe not so good. And then you can try and record the stuff. So maybe let's start here with D sharp major, or maybe with D sharp minor, because I really love this this scale. So we can record this here to the automation data, right? So we enable this here, and then we just start with D. Yeah, that's not what I need here. So we start here with D minor, and you can see, because this is here a selector list, we have here also the naming inside of the automation lane. Let's make this a bit bigger. So this is D sharp minor, then we switch it to A sharp minor, and then we switch to F minor, right? So a chord progression in a lot of different scales, I have no idea how they are related, but in my opinion it sounds harmonic. So let's call this chords. And now you want to play something on top, right? So what you do is you probably create a new piano, whatever. Let's use here this one. So you want to play something on top, but you have no idea what kind of scale is in. So we take the circle of fifth and just move it, click and drag, and then hold down here Control to just clone it. And you can see the automation is still in place. So we can open this up here and see it's the same thing. It's still in place, right? It's the same automation on here. So now we can record on top, a melody on top, and we play still in C major. So C is always the root. And we can then here move to a different place. So I show you that I'm playing actually on C major by using here, what's the name, virtual keyboard. Okay. So what you see down here is what I'm playing on the keyboard. I just play C. So C is always the tonic of the current scale. And E, or G, is always the fifth. So here we are on A minor. So this is A sharp minor. So yeah, so here we play more or less A sharp minor or A sharp. Maybe put here a virtual keyboard on here. You can see how it's changing. So again, input, output. So I'm transposing basically the C major scale around, and then I'm fitting into the correct scale. And then I'm also using here this selector to order it in a way of how it would be ordered on the circle of fifth. So it's pretty easy idea actually, but it works sometimes. So let's play this here, and we can play along. Just pressing the same chord over and over. It's just C major chord I'm playing, but it fits the scale because we are using here the automation and change the layer. So it's a very simple preset actually. It's I feel actually bad to make a video about it because it's so simple. But I share this with you in the comments in the description down below, so you can download it for free. So you can play on C major and then just circle around the circle of fifth here and find some interesting progressions and melodies, of course. Maybe record it here. point it becomes a bit jazzy, but you can play around with this, and you can of course use this then for some generative patches, or let's say a sequencer, a step sequencer. You play only on C major with the step sequencer, go through the circle of fifth thing here, and then you can change the scale on the fly and come up with some interesting patterns. I don't know. So that's the video for today. I hope it's not too complicated and you get what I mean. I probably use some terminology wrong all the time. I don't care. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a subscription. See you next time. Bye.